Hey, I wanted to do something a little different today. I know I've been playing a lot of Red Obsidian Remnant. I've been in a pretty bad spot mentally, just really depressed and stressed. I've been dealing with a lot of symptoms, and like I explained in the last video, just problems with I have a shitty mind. It tells me to give up and delete the channel, and no one would care and things like that. It's been very hard to deal with, and that's why I haven't been doing anything major. But I mean, the good thing is that there's not really much going on at the moment. Uh, I promised to get to the Vagrant soon. I actually just was watching a stream before I turned on this video of speedrunner playing it. It actually looks pretty fun once it opens up. It's very bare bones at the start. It's kind of a lot like a Tales game. I think at this point, like playing a Tales game, if you're a veteran, is a lot like playing like Monster Hunter when you're a veteran. Like you don't really need the 5 hours of tutorial before you actually fight a big monster. I think that's kind of how the Vagrant's going to be, but I've only played it for like 20 minutes, so I need to give it some more time. I will try to stream it. I actually did try streaming here on YouTube, but it didn't seem like I really got any viewers, so I don't even know what went on there. I know YouTube streaming's been pretty much a joke for a long time now, so I don't particularly care. If people would prefer that I stream on here, it's really up to you guys. But what I wanted to do to thank people, I received so much moral support yesterday. I even got one Patreon backer, which was not from the channel, but from a good friend of mine. He backed me for an extra $10. That's really going to help me to kind of offset the amount of money that was cut from my benefits. So it'll make it easier to afford things like Marvel. Like I realize that I have $40, or I have $20 from the East Origin refund that I got a couple weeks ago. So the game would only cost $40. I think it's probably in my best interest to get it. I've been watching a lot of the combo videos and some people talking about the mechanics. It seems like it's fun. I would like to get into fighting games because it's pretty much the only main gaming community here. There's Smash Brothers, but I've never really cared about that game past just playing it casually. So I probably will get it. I don't know how much of it would be for the channel. Most likely I'll probably stream my attempts and things. What's going to make things difficult is that East 8 is coming out, I believe, a couple days before. So September is going to be packed, but between then there's really not going to be a whole lot going on. And I hope you guys will understand. I know that the Red Obsidian Remnant stuff, it's one thing I've been getting depressed about. I've been pushing that game, and obviously, a guy and his brother and a musician in China are not like paying me to do it or anything, but I've been basically shilling that game without the the monetary advantage, and it hasn't really worked well. It doesn't seem like people are interested in it. I've kind of been on the fence of just like not really putting it on the channel at all. It's really up to you guys if you like seeing it, if you'd like to see commentated runs, or at least semi-commentated. I don't think I really would have anything to talk about for half an hour, and I think there's much better roguelike channels than mine that will hopefully pick up the game at some point. I'm sure it'll get a little more English speaking exposure once it's outside of early access. It is up to you guys. What I wanted to do is I wanted to give out a copy. The game is only $9, but I know a lot of people are on the fence. I know it's it's an early access game. The English translation is not the best. There's basically no information on it in English at all. Like there's probably more information you can gather from all these videos I put up in the past few weeks than anywhere else. There's no guides on the Steam page or anything, so I know that's it scares a lot of people away. Some people don't really like the discovery aspect of roguelikes, where you have to find out what everything does. And luckily, Red Obsidian Remnant doesn't really hide that stuff from you. It's pretty much all there. It's just that it's not the best translation, and it can kind of take a while to decide which items are good with what. You still have to find the synergies and stuff, but the game is relatively clear about what each item does. So what I'm going to do is I don't have the funds for it right now, unless I get more backers miraculously or something. I'm really not going to have much of a gaming budget until July, when my next Patreon comes in. So I will be buying that at the beginning of next month. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this video open. I'm going to leave the comments open, and you guys can just comment you know, how the channel has helped you, what your favorite guide or series of content has been, be it recently or, you know, in the past few years when I started taking YouTube seriously. So like the past like 4 or 5 years, even farther back than that if you've been around that long. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put everything in a random.org file or that Google Chrome giveaway thing, and I'm just going to give out one copy. I ask that you have some interest in playing it. I know the common problem with Steam giveaways is people, you know, they ask for them, but then they don't have any intention of playing them. I'm not really I'm not expecting people to play them for 500 hours or anything, but if you've like seen the game and you've been interested in kind of trying it out, then that's pretty much all I ask. I think that's pretty fair. I know, you know, I used to buy a lot of Humble Bundles, and I found myself just like not really having any interest in those games that I bought from them, so I kind of stopped. That's one reason why I haven't really been doing big giveaways and stuff. But yeah, that's a little something to give back to people. The moral support that I got yesterday really meant a lot to me. Kind of helped me keep going, so to speak. So I'm going to do a few runs here. I'm still very apathetic towards the end game in this. I'm sure anybody who's played this game, you know, once you hit cap can probably tell you the same thing. Most likely, it's not fun. It's just a grind. The gear that I have is pretty decent. I'm not going to win any speedrun records or anything, or be like a top pick in a raid, but I have some pretty decent stuff. I have the plus 11 Bamboo Lance, which some people still consider to be a best in slot because it gives plus 3 to everything, and in some cases that can override the you know, the damage that you're losing from using a level 80 epic at level 90. I still do pretty good damage. I'm still able to clear level 4, level 5 ancient dungeons pretty easily. And since it's ridiculous RNG to get anything else, probably not upgrading from this anytime soon. I have the Executioner's Butchery Necklace, which is basically just a lot of raw stats and some extra attack damage. I have this, which I got from Hell Mode runs a couple months ago. It's not too great, but I don't really have anything else to put there. And then I have Dethroned King's Tears, which I hear is used to be one of the best items, but I think now it's kind of run-of-the-mill. It's kind of the problem with level 90 cap in this, is that they just added a bunch of stuff that has, they're boring. Like, they're just base damage increasers, which is not fun. Like, I like the Chronicle sets are fun, because you can kind of change your moveset. But here they've just kind of really gravitated towards damage caps. A lot of the Korean players have been complaining about that. Especially for me, I'm not really a prominent endgame player in this. I've never even done the raid in this before. I've never really had any interest. I like the game because it has a fun combo system. I like the large moveset and, you know, how you can go through it fast. I'm not really into the whole teamwork, you know, grind for the most optimal gear, you know, kind of aspect of this game. So I'm going to go ahead and do a couple runs here, so there's some gameplay. Sometimes it feels like I talk a lot on the channel for like weeks, and then I go like even longer without even turning on the mic. I'm trying to find a better balance. I gotta return my mercenary. Let me see what I got. Pretty close to 500 hell invites, so I'll probably go through those at some point. So I've gotten up to level 6, but at that point everything is such an HP sponge, I just don't have any interest in going any farther. But I like the new ancient dungeons. I think they're fun. You have to apologize for the little performance hitches here. The way this game is programmed is, for some reason, when you first load the game, like when you put it in your computer's memory, it will freeze whenever you use a move that you haven't used before. So some people, if they log on for like a raid or something and they don't have anything low-key to do like this, is they will go into the training room and load everything. Just go through the whole moveset and kind of prevent that from happening. But I just turned the game on before I turned the video on, so it's gotta sort itself out, I guess. I'm sure you know, Critica left, or the closed beta ended. Apparently they've announced some changes. Apparently people were getting to the cap in 2 days, which I think is crazy because when you're past the first fatigue bar, you only get 50%. You get 50% for the second fatigue bar and then 10% for the third one. So when you get to that third bar, the one that's actually unlimited, you're only getting 10% experience and 2 drops. So the people that got to the cap are like hardcore grinders. Like, I wouldn't even bother playing at that point. And now the Nexon DFO, right before it shut down, or kind of the last era of that game, they tried a similar feature. And all it really ended up doing was making the botting and the gold selling worse. Because what the limitation was supposed to be is once you got past your initial fatigue points or the blitz points, I think you had like 400 blitz points or something. It's been like several years, so I don't remember the exact number. But once you got past that, they basically didn't get any experience or drops. But the problem with that is that it didn't limit the bots, because the bots would just get to the cap and sell the money you get. So I don't think Critica is going to have that problem, but I don't know, just for me, like, I don't want to waste time playing at 10% experience. Like, maybe if I was like really close to learning a new move or something, I'd do that. But I don't think they've announced any changes. They said that they're going to fix the hard and insane mode experience discrepancy. Apparently, the people who did get to the cap, I never really saw the point in getting to the cap because they're going to wipe, but apparently playing on hard was better than playing on insane because it took a lot less time and it gave the same experience rewards. So apparently they fixed that in the open beta. Now they've talked about stuff like controller support too. I've had a lot of people, including myself, ask about that. Apparently the the NMAS team, the people who are localizing the game, have been talking to the developer, or they want to look into it, so to speak. But obviously, since they don't make the game, I don't know what the feasibility is of that. I think you'd have to like really come up with something special, like tailor-made, to really make that work. Like Closers, for instance. Closers uses an attack modifier control scheme to make it so that you're not playing at a disadvantage. I think I don't know much about the high-level Closers players, because I think the end game in that looks boring with all the bosses that don't stagger to anything, especially with that awesome combo system. But I think there's some like high-level endgame players that actually play on pad. But I don't know how well that would work with Critica, because the thing with Critica is if you move the camera in another direction, the character will actually attack in that direction. I think they have 2 control modes. So I really don't know how that would work. I'm interested to see what they do. I'm pretty sure they know that once the game is on Steam, Terra is on Steam, there are other games, so I assume that they're going to put it on Steam once it's in full release. That's going to be a big complaint that they're going to get. It's good that they're at least talking about it now, when it's kind of a minor nuisance instead of something that's going to cost them money. Alright, I'm going to do one more after this, and I'll do the rest off camera. It's pretty boring, I imagine.
Good. Excellent.
Hopefully, you guys while you're commenting on here for the giveaway, hopefully if you guys don't mind, you can give me some feedback on how I can improve my Patreon. I feel like if I can get a couple more backers, it'll be a little easier for me to get new stuff. Obviously, I've got a capture card in the works and things like that. I'd like to get it at some point, but a little bit difficult at the moment. Apparently they're buffing Lancers on the Korean server's test server, which is interesting. I hear that they're pretty unpopular. I know on this version of the game, you know, the meme is that people want them removed because they dilute the drop pool, but since I'm not a hardcore endgame player, I don't really care too much. I think the class is fun. I think they could just, they could do a little more damage, I guess. They're pretty weak. I do pretty decent damage because I'm not in a raid, and I have like average gear, maybe slightly above average. I actually got some pretty good luck with you know, 2,000 or 3,000 or so of invites that I ran. Man, Rolling Vulcan did a ton of damage. That move does more damage depending on how big the hitbox is, because the shrapnel that your character shoots out will hit more on a larger hurt box. So on some bosses like Deregi here at the end, it doesn't really do that much, but on a big boss, especially something stationary, it does a lot more.
Excellent.
Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop there. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a giveaway for Red Obsidian Remnant to try to grow the community a little bit. If you're able to make videos, that would be really awesome too. Obviously, it's not a requirement. Not everyone has a computer that's capable of doing that. Obviously, the game's not on console, so you can't run it through a PS4 or anything. But if you win, it would be really cool if you could make videos as well. You can try to grow the community a little bit. I know that I can't do too much because of my financial problems, but I figure if I can give away one copy, and if that person, you know, if they want to, if they're able to make a couple videos for it in English, try to grow the community, maybe we can get a little something going, you know. As far as I know, Isaac is pretty much the only roguelike that has a really significant community, like in terms of people who make videos. I don't think there's anybody for 20XX. I mean, you could probably count me back in the early days of that, but I kind of stopped playing it because I don't know, the bosses just piss me off. I don't really like the new bosses. It seems like they nothing against their design philosophy. I just like the old bosses. The game feels a lot harder. It's not as fun for me to play. It feels more stressful. But I guess at the beginning, you know, I could probably be considered a person who, you know, played it a lot and tried to grow the community and things like that. But I don't think there's anybody else that's really taken my spot, so to speak. Like, I follow the game on Twitch. I have it on my second monitor right now, and there's like 2 people watching it. I don't think there's like any major roguelike that has a really high like social media presence, and I mean by that I mean like you know, Twitch or YouTube or other video sites. So I think Red Obsidian Remnant, it has an uphill battle for sure. I think that they will have to definitely improve those translations, maybe get some streamers to play it or something. I don't remember if I got a key. I'm actually going to do one more run since I'm sitting here talking. I don't remember if I signed up for it on Keymailer, but they could definitely do to give out some keys.
Great. Excellent.
Just the ultimate combo right there. He was dead like 5 seconds in. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm going to do the rest of these off camera since this is not terribly interesting to watch. But you can go ahead, once again, just go ahead and post a comment on here what your favorite content has been on here, or how it's helped you in the past couple years, or even farther than that if you've been around that long. Kind of trying to get some metrics on how I can improve. I've been really depressed about how badly the channel's been performing, and a lot of that is my fault. You know, my financial situation has played into that. There's been a lot of games I've had to just skip out on because I just can't afford it. I'm not making enough to really offset how much they cost. But you know, maybe if I'm able to get a few more backers, then you know, I'll be able to do that in the future. Maybe sooner than I think. Maybe by the end of the summer, if I keep pushing it and you know I'm able to get the support that I need, then I can probably play some more popular stuff. You know, some of the other action games that I just haven't really had the resources to cover. So let me know what you guys would like to see. You can go ahead and enter the contest. I will probably draw it in the first week of July. Depends on how much response I get. I'll go ahead and I'll buy that copy. I think on the first when my Patreon comes in, I'm gonna pay off Marvel, be it through Amazon Prime discount or on PSN. I'll have to see which one is the better option, and then I'll buy a copy of Red Obsidian Remnant and I'll give it to somebody at random. Anyway, catch you guys later. Peace.